Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit from the WoW podcast, Blue Please on CynicalBrit.com. I have had quite a few people ask about Stratholme, and I don't take requests, but what I do take is ideas. So if you want to get a video made, probably the best way to approach me is to say, well, I heard there was this about this, and it might be worth having a look at. As opposed to, you should do this, or kind of like you're doing a drive-through takeaway order. I would like 2 Big Macs and some French fries, please. Also, a video about the undead starting zone. Doesn't tend to work out so well. Don't really appreciate that. Okay, so this is about the end boss of Stratholme Deadside. Now, you may be aware that Stratholme has changed in terms of its level range. It's now a little bit lower to match the new Eastern Plaguelands, which is around 45 to 50 now, as opposed to 57 to 60 as it used to be. In this case, they've taken Baron Rivendare out of Stratholme, because it doesn't make any sense for him to be there anymore. What they've replaced him with is Aurius Rivendare. Now, you may know who Aurius is, or at least you think you do. I should point out that this is not confirmed. This may very well be speculative lore at best, and it just might be a complete and total coincidence that this is the case. However, there was a paladin called Aurius, and he was outside the Alonsus Chapel in the Elder Square of Stratholme, which is where Uther Lightbringer first took his oath as a paladin or some such nonsense. And he was badly injured, but if you give him the Medallion of Faith, he'll actually help you out against Rivendare. Now, he dies at the end of that encounter. Now, he goes, you know, leave me, my wounds are great, I fear they'll overtake me, thank you, blah, 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 I will die here because of you, I'll die in peace. Maybe not, as it happens. So, it just seems like an awful coincidence that there would be an Aurius Rivendare now at the end of this particular zone. So, let me show him to you, and you can decide for yourself. Now, the actual mechanics of the fight are identical to the old Baron Rivendare setup, so there's nothing new to see. I decided to, hey, I'll just see what happens by it. But look at that. Look at the weapon he's got. That's exactly the same hammer that Aurius had. He's not using Rivendare's rune blade or anything like that anymore, though he does still have that skeletal steed. Definitely doing the Death Knight thing. He's got the blue glowy eyes. But aside from that, there's no real way to tell, honestly. The thing that he says, the text there, and this may be unfinished, in fact this whole thing is most likely unfinished, is identical to Baron Rivendare. There's no change there at all. Like the Might of the Scourge and all that nonsense. But it is odd, isn't it? It seems extremely likely that this is the guy. Okay, so let's bring him down. Did we get the Death Charger? No, we didn't. Now, there's another change here that I'm about to show you. You notice that shouting out there. That wasn't there before. Let's have a look at what he's dropped. So, we've got the Seal of Rivendare. It's now a level 48 item. We've got Lightforged Leggings, which is the same as it's always been, and then the Wand of Bad Mojo. 2 of these items have been reduced in level, and they've also been restatted, whereas the Lightforged Leggings are still the same as they've always been. I imagine this is unfinished and Lightforge will be altered. But it's interesting to see what they've done with the stats there. The Seal of Rivendare is now a far more desirable item. It's actually got haste on it. And the wand has crit as well. Now, what is all this nonsense about? Because this didn't happen before. Near as I can tell, this is bugged. This should be happening before you kill Aurius and not afterwards. But note this. He has fallen too far to be left standing. There's no reference at all to whether or not that's actually Aurius, but I think we can safely assume that it is. You'll also note the new wanted poster style thing. That occurs for any sort of big named or boss monster now. You saw it back in the Dwarven Starting Zone video. It occurs here and in any other instance like that. Intriguing stuff nonetheless, and what I'm also going to show you is the effect of these guys riding in. Because this is sort of the opposite of what happened in the live side. If you remember correctly, once we killed all the Scarlet guys in the cathedral, the undead swarmed in and invaded. This is the other way around. You got the Argent Crusade swarming in, but it's after they kill Aurius, which again doesn't make any sense because of the quest that you're being given there. What I would suggest, the reason that's actually happening is I think that's because that quest giver is at the start of the zone. I skipped all of that, I didn't show it to you, because obviously I had to make my way through. But at the start of every instance now, there's a bunch of quest givers that will give you all of the old quests. And I imagine that Aurius Rivendare one, that guy's there. So when he rides in, he's still got the quest available, because I didn't pick it up. So that would explain that, I would think. So maybe that isn't actually a bug. Now, what happens when these guys actually ride in? Well, I can show you. The Crusaders engage all of the remaining undead and start a great massive brawl with them. Only enough, they're not doing a particularly good job of it. That guy's actually getting his ass kicked by the looks of it. He's getting mobbed, but he's actually aggroed the other 2 Argent Crusaders now, so they're going to help him out. Now, I did leave the Magistrate there, so I wonder if we can actually get them to aggro the Magistrate. There's an Argent Hippogriff all the way over there who doesn't seem to be paying any attention. Just blow them all up with fire. I don't know if they're actually helping out here. It doesn't look like they are, honestly, but hey, whatever. Now, that didn't happen before. That's the Worgen transformation right there. It doesn't mean he's a Worgen, but it does mean that he'll now transform back into his original form. Oh, this item. The best item. Now even better item by the looks of it. Much better stats on that these days. We're going to have to get out of combat to wear it. Bloody pesky undead. There we go. Stylen. That's what I'm talking about right there. My name's been Totalbiscuit, and this has been a little look at the changes to Stratholme, now a lower level zone, with a new end boss and different questing mechanics. I'll see you next time.